I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotion had an echo in so much space. And when you out there without care, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy?
Hello, everybody. Hey, just give me a moment. I'm just going to get myself situated here.
I hope that you're having the time of your life. Think twice. That's my only
All right.
advice. Oh,
Who do you think you are?
Oh, bless your soul.
If I can throw it over my shoulder. See there, now I'm tangled now. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few moments with me here on SML TV. Happy Thursday to those of you that are watching. Doesn't matter where you're watching me from. The Maldives, Kwakasomokuchinsari, Kutwapia, Kumongo, Kumonze, Southern Province, Northern Province, Eastern Province, wherever you're watching me from. Melbourne, Australia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Shreveport, Bossier City, Denham Springs, wherever, Belize, the islands of the sea, Bogota, Colombia, Ghost Town, Cape Town, South Africa, Marshall Plains, over there in South Africa. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you so much. Bridget Chungo says, good morning. Hello, good morning to you watching from Perth. Somebody is watching us from Perth, and somebody's watching us from Mwinilunga. This is Baxter. Baxter's watching us from Perth. Thank you, Baxter. Thank you for being with us. Kazungula Border, thank you so much. You're so kind, taking the time. Thank you. Guys, I won't be long. Got a busy day ahead of me today, and I have to bring this to you because this is something that I think we have to have a conversation about. And as long as we keep burying our heads in the sand, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't. I'd like to talk to you for a few moments about Chilufya Tayali and the effect he has on our lives as citizens of this country and the potential danger he poses to our peace. Now, I know many of you love to dismiss Tayali. Many of you love to say, oh, he's inconsequential. Many of you love to say, oh, he's just a product of a deranged mind. Many of you love to say, oh, he's nothing. Well, he has what I call and what people call the butterfly effect. Ever heard of the butterfly effect? Imagine for a moment, let me describe this to you. Imagine for a moment there's a match that has been ignited and it's sitting on a place in the house, a single match. It's on, okay? It's got fire on it. And then a little butterfly comes along and flies past a paper. That paper, because the butterfly flutters past the paper falls onto the match ignites the paper ignites the carpet ignites the Christmas tree ignites the curtains ignites the house ignites the whole neighborhood. That's the butterfly effect. So don't you for a moment talk about how insignificant he is. He's a danger. He is. Let me take you back, because many of you forget, and I don't get amused. I actually get very furious when I hear some of you refer to him as a freedom fighter. You go to Nsama's children and ask them if Chilufya Tayali is a freedom fighter. For those of you that love to refer to Tayali as a freedom fighter, has your father been shot in the head for you to sit there and say, oh, he's a freedom fighter? Has he? I doubt it. Has your daughter been gassed and killed in her room by a rogue police service? And then Tayali turns around and says, oh, Vespers died because she was a member of the UPND. Insidious statements, inflammatory statements that enrage and infuriate the public. Everything is designed to anger, to ignite, to explode. Here it is. Let me bring you up to speed for those of you that do not know, because many of you don't. And those of you that do know, you choose to ignore it. A few years ago, this was back when President Hichilema was a candidate. Chilufya Tayali was hired by the PF, the Patriotic Front, along with Edith Nawakwi. These two dynamic, demonic duos were assigned the task of launching a smear campaign that alleged and accused HH of having acquired a piece of land illegally. You remember that story. Oh, everybody was up in arms. Chilufya Tayali stood on the highest mountain and he said, oh, I've got evidence that's going to show you that HH dubiously bought land, used undue advantage, blobbity, blobbity, blob. He crisscrossed this nation, moving to and fro like the devil. And he started standing on the mountain saying, I've got evidence, irrefutable, undeniable, unquestionable evidence that points to the fact that HH acquired this land dubiously. Both him and Edith Nawakwi launched that smear campaign, purely funded by the PF. Well, come to find out, no such thing happened. They tried. Tayali tried, left, right, and center. Edith Nawakwi and her surrogates. They tried everything in the book. It couldn't stick. First of all, they tried to tag HH and say he was a tribalist. Oh, they threw everything at him. They said, oh, this man is a tribalist. We can't have a man in State House as a tribe. They tried to attach the tag of tribalist on him, but oh, it couldn't stick. You know why it couldn't stick? Because it wasn't there. Because it wasn't there. It didn't exist. So they moved from that to now HH acquired land illegally. And so there he was. He went everywhere. It didn't mount to anything. It was all a lie. Now, because Tayali lodged this false allegation, HH was summoned, was called to court, or to the police, sorry. He was called to the police. The UPND supporters, in an effort to offer solidarity to HH, were ambushed by the then police, and they were told, disperse. But in telling them to disperse, the police discharged firearm, tear gas, and in that ruckus, the video is there. It's everywhere. You know, what I'm telling you is not something that is conjured. What I'm telling you is not something that I just made up because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It's all there for everybody to see. And so the police began to fire tear gas and fire guns. My friend Nsama, who was a brilliant man, a prosecutor. This was in the Long Acres area. Nsama had gone to have lunch that day, and on his way out of the restaurant, in that fracas where the police were shooting tear gas and guns, my friend got shot and he died. Now, for those of you that say, but Tayali didn't pull the trigger. Nobody's ever said Tayali pulled the trigger. What we've always maintained is that Tayali set in motion a series of events that led to the fatal shooting of Nsama. Let me give you another example. You remember in the Capitol building, on the Capitol over there in the States, Donald Trump, okay, and I'm giving you this example for you to have a clear picture. You have to explain it at the bare base level. Otherwise, someone would just start commenting, but no, Tayali didn't pull the trigger. We're talking about cause and effect. We're talking about the butterfly effect. If you don't understand the butterfly effect, everything I'm saying to you, you will not understand. So start from there. Donald Trump incited a group of fanatical supporters to storm Capitol Hill in America. You remember that. So these fanatical Americans, because Donald Trump said to them, let's storm the Capitol. Let's go after Nancy Pelosi and these Republican degenerates. Sorry, Democratic degenerates, not Republican, because Donald Trump is with the Republican Party. Let's go after these Democratic degenerates. What did some of the American fanatical people do? They stormed Capitol Hill. In the process of doing that, 5 people were killed that day. 5 people were killed that day. Donald Trump didn't pull the trigger, but he set in motion a series of events that led to the fatal killing of 5 people. That's the point. Now, people like that, inciters, they are insidious and they're very cunning. And the world is replete with them. They're people that, I'll give you another example over there in Rwanda. The people that ignited the genocide, you don't even know their names. You don't. But some people went on radio and started talking a certain way, started saying things in a certain way at a particular time in a political environment that was tense because of their words. It had a snowball effect. It caused a ripple effect. That butterfly effect came into play, and all of a sudden, catastrophe. That's what we're talking about. And for those of you that love to say freedom fighter, please, that is a slap and an insult in the face of freedom fighters like Kenneth Kaunda. When you call Chilufya Tayali a freedom fighter, that is the slap in the face of the winners. That is a slap in the face of the Mwangas who fought for this nation. Not these jokers who come up on Facebook and start spewing all kinds of nonsense because they've been paid 30 pieces of silver. No. And so my submission to you today, the final solution to the Chilufya Tayali problem, send him to prison. Send him to prison. Not because we don't like him, because he commits crimes. That's why You think it's a little small thing to cause angst, political angst in a country, in a nation? When you start saying things like, and then you name chiefs, you start bringing the names of chiefs into disrepute. Here's the mark of a con artist. I'm 53 years old. I've lived over half a century. This is not my first rodeo. Trust me when I tell you, whenever you hear someone say, go and ask the chief, he's giving you the homework to do what he's supposed to do. Tayali has alleged that the chief has knowledge about the gassing. And then Tayali turns around and gives you the homework to go and ask the chief. That's the mark of a con artist. When someone says, no, go and ask him. Ako pera number homework, iwe allege, but I pera iwe homework. But knowing people who they are, when someone says, go and ask, you're not going to go ask. Why would you get up and start looking for the chief to go and ask him? Oh, chief, na tumfuati chita na chita. So because you're not going to ask, guess what you do? Many of you, you just believe. You just believe. Oh, dear. This is the only answer. This is the answer. And how dare you say to me, some of you have been writing me messages, you're your brother's keeper my foot. Brother's keeper my foot. Not going to be a part of an effort that is involved in the death of someone. There it is. Tayali yesterday posts, he says, let me play with Kia. What about Nsama's children? That day that he was killed, did he go back home that night? Did he play with his kids? Did he?